All right, folks, we're back. Just a little reminder, for any information that you guys need, especially with this all this stuff unfolding, you can always go to theintelhub.com. That's www.theintelhub.com, and we'll try to keep you posted as far as all of the latest news and events are concerned. And without further ado, John, give him the King's Court, will you?
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you, Dr. Waterman, for mentioning the upcoming food shortage. So with that said, let me tell you about a bill that is not very well known that is before the Senate right now called the CLEAR Act. There's nothing clear about the CLEAR Act, not even transparent or translucent. Hidden within that bill is language that will ratify the Law of the Sea Treaty. Just what is the Law of the Sea Treaty? The Law of the Sea Treaty puts all bodies of water, from our coastlines to the streams that run through our farmers' pastures, fields, to the ponds in your backyard, to the water that runs down your gutter, into the ground after a rainstorm, under the control of the UN. That's right, folks. If passed into law, the U.S. gives up its sovereignties of its waterways and watersheds to the global control of the UN. They, in a sense, could make fishing in any waterway illegal. Don't believe me? It's illegal to collect rainwater from your gutter now in most states. Look it up. I dare you. Step out of your zombie box that you call reality and look into what is being done. The UN can then control our farms by passing anti-irrigation laws or anti-fertilizer laws near streams or rivers. This would directly affect our food supply. The family farmer is the lifeblood of our nation. If the corporations pass laws to regulate it, they will go the way of the dodo, and we will be left with a scarce food supply that has been genetically modified for reduced vitamins, finally starving you and achieving their goal of global population reduction. Control the food, control the people. And if you think I'm joking, then ask Mr. Miller of Clarkston, Alabama, who is an organic farmer who is being fined, believe it or not, $5,000 for growing crops on his own land due to Senate Bill 510, which is coming up for a vote, which would make it illegal to grow, share, or sell any food that has been grown in your garden. It is under the guise of the name of the Food Safety Modernization Act of 2010. Grow a garden of squash and pumpkins and go to jail with people that grow marijuana. Same difference. This is called theft by deception. Your rights and liberties are silently being legislated away. If you're here tonight, that tells me you're at least aware that something is wrong. Well, we here at this station will strive to bring you the hidden news and agendas as well as how to prepare for it. Guys, it sort of makes me feel warm and fuzzy all over. How about you?
I'm not feeling so warm and fuzzy, John. As a matter of fact, I kind of feel like, like I'm a tuxedo or you're a tuxedo, the world's a tuxedo, and I'm a pair of brown shoes. That's how I feel right now, and I really don't like that feeling. But one thing, folks, before we dive back into this, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Mike Grable coming on Shepherd's Show over on American Freedom Radio. That's Intel Hub Radio over at American Freedom Radio, 4 p.m. tomorrow. And that should be a good interview because he can give some insight into the shenanigans that are going on in Washington, being an ex-congressman himself. So it's definitely a show that you'll want to listen to. Now, Doc, we were listening, you were talking about page 11.
Oh, yes. Well, can you hear me? I'm going to try and be louder.
Yes.
I noticed some folks I'm going to try to do the best I can to can you hear me okay now? Is it better?
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try to keep the volume up, like I'm in the lecture hall again. But we're talking about this event of climate change from the Gulf affecting Europe, with the webbot report, before this really became known that there was a change in the temperature of the Gulf Stream that could affect Europe, was already published. And now we can go to, say, some other events that really are important that I think, personally, we could say are related. So if you wanted to kind of take it out of the webbot report and get it out of the Mayan and go right straight into the Bible, there's a passage in Matthew 24:20 that says, after this happens, meaning after all this stuff begins, there is a more important prophecy. And in Matthew 24:20, it talks about pray that your flight not be in winter. After you have that event, meaning just pray that if if an event's coming, he wants you to know about it ahead of time. So it's not like he's saying pray that the event doesn't happen so you don't have to flee in winter. He's saying an event's coming, so pray that you don't have to wait till winter when the event's going to happen in order to flee. Do something now, because that's why I'm telling you, be preemptive. Don't be reactive. Try and situate yourself ahead of time. And then he says in the very next sentence in Matthew, then shall the great tribulation has not since the beginning of this world happened, which is the same prediction of the Mayan calendar. So it correlates together. And then this includes the fact that the report's saying an extreme winter with strong winds, with new wind patterns, and new wind patterns so unique that people of Europe have never experienced it before. And that this cold will continue as a theme starting in it will continue. It will go all through winter. There'll be a normal let-up of real hard cold weather and bad patterns of extreme winters in summer, but it will reoccur in September of 2011, and then the bad news hits, which correlates with the prediction after the beginning of this, it gets worse. And it's basically saying in the report, which is kind of hard to believe, that it will continue through July of 2012, so that we're going to have weather, bad weather, cold weather, clear through till summer, July of 2012. So it basically says that the report is indicating here an ice age is going to begin in fall of 2010. These climate shifts, it says, will be exacerbating, excuse me, I can't say that word, making food shortages really worse, and that it will go from a regional problem to a global problem. And that this migration of people, the theme of the migration of this problem in Europe, where they're going into the mountains, will expand to a planetary level by fall of next year, but it's going to start in 2010 with mass migrations in different regions, and it will become visible that this is occurring in the media, in the mainstream media, by January, February of this coming year. Are we still on?
Yeah, we're still here.
Boy, I'm hearing all kinds of strange stuff.
I know, me too. I'm hearing it too. Just keep plugging away, and if I have to, I'll reconnect with you.
Well, I'll tell you what. If something happens, just type in there that I've dropped dead or something. I don't know.
No sweat.
And so I'll just kind of. We got so much to cover here, and I just want to connect it quicker so that people can see the dots and keep it a little bit, more simple.
Right.
And that way they'll not be so overburdened with it. But I'm going to try and, by the way, put this in some kind of form, Joe, that people can access in a written.
Yeah, that's right.
Form.
And like I said, I'll work with you on that because it's going to be very important. I'm seeing a lot of chatter in the chat room about some people are drooling on themselves trying to figure out everything that you're saying. And it's a lot to take in, and I totally understand it, folks, because I was drooling on myself last night, and my head was buzzing from all the stuff the doc was going through. So we will most certainly put it in a written form for you to dissect and digest. But go ahead, Doc, continue.
Well, let's kind of talk about what we've gotten up to so far. And really the most serious sequence of near-term events would be like that it's being forecasted in the webbot to start this November. We've got all kinds of things forecasted for this November. I think we're going to talk about a 4-day period of time, and Griff knows about this, and I think it's this guy has major events. He seems to be right on. I mean, there's been some misses, but those misses, for crying out loud, what if he missed it by a day? I mean, so what? He's wrong, but for crying out loud, it was within 24 hours. So those are the kind of things they're trying to say is missed. Well, I don't think he's missing when it comes to the time frame and season of problem and what's going on. But it says in the report that these problems that are going to be starting this November are going to continue to escalate and escalate and escalate through the spring of 2011. Then we don't have things just get better. We just have them level off. So they begin to get worse, and they hold on to that level and not drop off, but there's some other things that starts in November. And so here's what it is. You ready?
Go ahead.
It says here, and this is where we're going to start talking about people connections, geopolitical events, some of the events that I've got, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of the chapter that I haven't told you guys yet about out of one of my book, okay? And I'm going to talk to you about what I wrote. And this was a few years ago. I don't know. How long has that been? I'm asking somebody. If it's been 5 years, 5 years ago I wrote this information? Really? 4 years ago. I can't get time's just like it says, time's speeding up, guys, Well, it sounds like I'm doing a lecture, but I'm just trying to cram a whole bunch of stuff in the short amount of time we've got. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can hang on, help me connect the dots. But anyway, November, that is a time when the hidden hand group is about to be faced with a direct reduction of their income. And just what did the Queen, or Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, announce?
She just handed over the reins of control of the money over in England to Parliament. Is that correct?
Right. I didn't ask you to. I didn't give Joe a script here. Okay. I'm just asking the event, and it's true. The Queen just signed over to Parliament the palace's budget, the budget she uses, and he predicted this. And then, it's not November yet. So what? When you're talking about collapse of nations and monetary systems, what's 1 month or 2 months? The point of it is, it seems like this has a lot of veracity and means, and what I mean by that is, it's very reliable information that we're getting here, and it's coming about. We're seeing this report getting fulfilled, but we got some stuff on the way. November 8th through the 11th is this very important 4-day period of time. And I think, Griff, you've talked a lot about this, haven't you? The supports, well, it says in the report that the data is supporting a revolution starting in the November 8th to November 11th time frame of this year. That's major stuff.
The target is November 8th through the 11th. Yes, I agree with Cliff High. And I also want to mention the Queen and her personal money was involved in the Wanta matter. And there was great anger from England. And part of that caused Interpol to